Imagine someone who has been working hard for months. They stay patient, do the right thing, treat people with kindness, and quietly hope that life will finally reward their effort. But one day, someone else receives the opportunity they were waiting for. Someone who did less, someone who seemed luckier, someone who did not struggle the same way. And in that moment, a painful question rises in the heart. Why is life so unfair? Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever tried your best, but life still disappointed you? The Buddhist path does not promise that life will always be fair. It teaches us how to face unfairness without losing our peace. Expectations often look harmless. They feel natural, even reasonable. We expect people to understand us. We expect our kindness to be returned. We expect our effort to be rewarded. We expect life to be fair because we are trying our best. But life does not always move according to our wishes. Sometimes you help someone, but they do not appreciate it. You work hard, but someone else receives the reward. You trust someone, but they disappoint you. You plan carefully, but life suddenly changes everything. And then the mind begins to suffer, not only because of what happened, but because of the silent sentence inside. This should not have happened to me. Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering often comes from attachment. And attachment is not only holding on to people, possessions, or memories. Sometimes, the deepest attachment is to a picture of how life was supposed to go. We hold that picture tightly in our mind. People should treat me fairly. My efforts should bring results. My kindness should protect me from pain. But when reality does not match that picture, the heart feels broken. This does not mean your pain is not real. Your pain matters. But expectation adds another layer of suffering on top of the first pain. Think of it like gripping sand. The tighter you hold, the faster it falls through your fingers. Expectation says, life must happen my way. Wisdom says, life may not happen my way, but I can still meet it with a steady heart. One reason life feels unfair is because we expect stability from something that is always changing. In Buddhist wisdom, impermanence is one of the deepest truths. Everything changes. People change. Opportunities change. Relationships change. Health changes. Plans change. Even the version of ourselves we once knew will change. But the human mind often wants life to remain predictable. We want good moments to stay. We want painful moments to disappear quickly. We want people to behave the way they used to. We want the future to follow the picture we created in our mind. So, when life suddenly changes, we feel shocked. We feel betrayed. We think, this was not supposed to happen. But life did not betray us. Life was never fixed in the first place. This teaching may sound painful at first, but it is actually a freeing teaching. Because if everything is impermanent, then your pain is also impermanent. Your confusion is impermanent. Your disappointment is impermanent. The difficult season you are walking through right now is not your whole life. It is only one chapter. When life feels unfair, gently remind yourself, this moment is painful, but it is not permanent. This chapter is heavy, but it is not my entire story. The mind suffers when it tries to hold life still, but peace begins when we learn to flow with change instead of fighting against it. Impermanence does not only take things away, it also means pain can change, wounds can soften, and new paths can open. Before we know what to do, we must first stop fighting reality in our mind. Many people misunderstand acceptance. They think acceptance means giving up. They think it means staying silent. They think it means allowing people to mistreat them. But this is not true acceptance. In Buddhist wisdom, acceptance does not mean saying, this is okay. Acceptance means saying, this is what happened, Now I will see clearly. Acceptance is the end of arguing with reality. It is the moment we stop wasting our energy wishing the past had been different. Because no matter how many times we replay the situation in our mind, the past will not change. But our relationship with the past can change. Accepting someone's true nature helps you stop expecting them to become who they are not. Accepting a closed door helps you stop knocking forever. Accepting a painful truth helps you choose a wiser direction. This is why acceptance must come before action. If you act while you are still fighting reality, your action may come from anger, fear, or desperation. You may say things you do not mean. You may chase what is already gone. You may hold on to what is hurting you. But when you first accept what is true, your next step can come from clarity. Acceptance is not weakness. Acceptance is the strength to see clearly, without being controlled by anger, denial, or fear. After acceptance, the next step is clear seeing, what belongs to me and what does not. Much of our suffering comes from trying to control what cannot be controlled. We try to control what people think of us. We try to control how others behave. We try to control whether they appreciate us, understand us, or treat us fairly. We try to control timing, outcomes, the past, and unexpected changes. But these things are not fully in our hands. What is in your hands is different. Your actions, your words, your effort, your attitude, your boundaries, your response, your willingness to learn, your next step. This is where the mind begins to become lighter. You cannot control whether someone respects you, but you can control whether you keep asking for respect from the wrong person. You cannot control whether life gives you an easy path, but you can control whether you walk your path with dignity. You cannot control whether others understand your heart, but you can control whether you continue living with honesty and compassion. The moment you see this clearly, you stop fighting the wind. You stop asking life to obey your every wish. Instead of asking, "How can I force life to change?" you begin asking, "What is the wisest thing I can do now?" This question brings you back to yourself. When you stop fighting what is outside your control, you finally have energy to care for what is inside your control. Once you accept reality and see what is within your control, action becomes calmer and wiser. When something unfair happens, the mind naturally asks, "Why me? Why did this happen? Why did they treat me this way? Why is it easier for others?" These questions are human. They come from pain. They come from the part of us that wants life to make sense. But if we stay in these questions too long, they become a prison. The mind keeps circling the same wound, but nothing begins to heal. Buddhist wisdom gently brings us back to the present moment. Instead of asking only, "Why me?" we begin asking, "What now? What can I learn from this? What boundary do I need? What small step can I take today? What part of me needs healing? What can I release so I do not carry this pain forever?" This is not about pretending the situation is easy. It is about choosing not to let one unfair moment become the ruler of your whole mind. Not everything that happens is fair. Not everything that happens is deserved. But every experience can become part of your awakening if you meet it consciously. You may not be able to rewrite what happened, but you can choose the next step with wisdom. When life feels unfair, the breath is the simplest doorway back to the present moment. When you feel hurt, disappointed, or angry, do not react immediately. First, pause. Give yourself one small space between the feeling and the reaction. Take one slow breath in. Feel the air entering your body. Then breathe out slowly. Feel your shoulders soften. Breathing in, "I know I am hurt." Breathing out, "I do not need to react from this hurt." Breathing in, I see this moment clearly. Breathing out, I release what I cannot control. Breathing in, I return to myself. Breathing out, I choose peace over resistance. A few breaths may not change the situation. They may not change the person who hurt you. They may not solve the problem immediately, but they can change the state of your mind. And when your mind changes, your response changes. You may still need to speak. You may still need to set a boundary. You may still need to create distance. But now your action comes from awareness, not from emotional reaction. This is Buddhist practice in daily life. Not only sitting quietly when life is peaceful, but returning to awareness when life is painful. The breath does not remove every problem, but it gives you enough space to stop creating more suffering. Life may not always be fair. Your effort may not be rewarded immediately. People may not always understand you. Your kindness may not always be returned. Your plans may not unfold the way you imagined. But your peace does not have to depend on life being perfect. The Buddha's path is not about escaping hardship. It is about facing hardship without letting it harden your heart. So, when life feels unfair, breathe. Accept what is true. Remember that everything changes. Do what is within your control and release what is not yours to carry. Do not let one painful season convince you that your whole life has no meaning. Take a moment to sit with that. If this message brought you peace, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who may need this reminder today. Stop expecting life to be perfect. Start trusting yourself to meet life with wisdom.